Welcome, everybody, to the Filmmakers podcast, which is brought to you by UMBC's Filmmakers Anonymous, the best and only film club on the campus. Stop laughing at me. I specified this last week. I'm Mike Woodard. I'm your host, and I am the president of Filmmakers Anonymous. Joining me, as normal, is Costa, our treasurer.
What's up?
Tyler, our secretary.
Hello.
Amber, former president.
Hello.
Hey, look, you didn't act surprised this time. We're also joined by prominent filmmaker members, Sander.
Hi.
Ryan.
Hello.
And Steven.
What's up?
And, well, today's the big day for our podcast because the Oscars are this weekend. Yay! I was expecting some cheers. Okay.
It's too long and no one really cares.
Now, I am interested to see how Seth MacFarlane's going to do hosting.
I don't think he's going to do good.
Really? I think he has a chance.
I feel like it's going to be all musical numbers, which they know it is because supposedly they're going to do a dedication to the musicals for the past 10 years, and I was like...
Wait, how many good musicals came out in the last 10 years?
I don't know, but I was like... Why don't you just do musicals in general instead of the past years? Because that's like maybe like 5, including Les Mis, and then supposedly Russell Crowe and a whole bunch of people are gonna sing, and I go, I'm not watching.
Oh, Russell Crowe's gonna sing again.
As far as musical, Les Mis, Hairspray,
Dreamgirls,
Sweeney Todd,
Sweeney Todd,
Team and Barbara of Fleet Street.
I'd say Repo the Genetic Opera, but nobody knows that exists.
Well, we know it exists.
Go Oscar winning, but and then even like Moulin Rouge or something. But it's been 10, but Moulin Rouge is over the 10. So I was just like, this is stupid already.
Well, there's also the Bond tribute to look forward to.
That's the only thing I'm gonna watch, but I think I'm gonna wait and just watch.
I'm sick of Bond tributes because of that damn Heineken commercial.
True.
Oh,
they're still playing that too.
That's why they did that commercial. That makes sense now. Anyway.
Did I just blow your mind?
No, you didn't.
That's a really low standard, Mike.
So like I said, this is our last podcast before the Oscars since they are this Sunday. Next week at Friday at 8 is going to be our reaction show, so make sure to tune in next week. But seeing as it hasn't happened yet,
Premature.
Let's get started with our predictions. So we're going to go down the list of all the categories, and we're going to give you what we think, our take on what we think the results, what you'll see happen on Sunday. So right off the bat, we'll get the biggest award out of the way since that's what they do on the website here. Best Picture, and I'll just rehash the nominees real quick. Amour. Oh, I'm sorry.
Also as Love.
The next one's Argo, and then I liked Argo. Beast of the Southern Wild.
I've heard really good things about it. It was a completely non-professional cast, and apparently they did a really good job.
It is a really good movie.
Okay, great. We had Django Unchained. Wow, it's dead silence.
Well,
all right.
I thought you were reading it first, and then we were going to decide.
That's not here.
I was waiting for you to pronounce the D.
I know. I almost did. So I
didn't want to get
myself.
beheaded.
We have Les Mis. I pronounced that correctly. Life of Pi.
The second syllable.
Oh, everybody. So does everybody else in the world.
Les Miserables.
Life of Pi. Lincoln, Silver Linings Playbook, and Zero Dark 30. So those are your Best Picture nominees. It's an open forum here. What do you guys think?
I think most likely because of Argo's probably going to win it. Just because it's been winning everything. If it's not Argo, then it's probably going to be Lincoln. But I have a feeling that they're just going to choose Argo because they feel bad that they didn't nominate Ben Affleck. He's been dominating all the awards.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I think Argo is probably the front runner, but the dark horse on that list, though, I think is Zero Dark 30. I think I of all the ones on the list, I think that one could be a potential surprise choice.
Was it better than The Hurt Locker?
No.
No, it wasn't better than The Hurt Locker. But
I haven't seen it yet, so that's
but
why I'm asking.
Because it comes from that pedigree, that's why I wouldn't be surprised if it just kind of slipped through.
The Hurt Locker is a better movie than Zero Dark 30.
Mhm.
I think I didn't like Zero Dark 30. I also don't understand all the hoopla with Jessica Chastain either. But we can get to that either. But it's really just like a paperwork movie.
Oh,
It's a lot of paperwork, and then the last hour is what everybody wants to watch. But like, I think Argo's gonna win, but I would actually personally I like Life of Pi or Django.
I've seen Argo and Les Mis. Between the two, I'd probably have to say Les Mis was the better overall. Would be like the better overall choice if my choice were between those two.
Yeah.
I haven't seen a whole lot of these. Argo doesn't strike me as one of those films that deserves Best Picture. So I think we talked about this last week. It's probably that film that I'm gonna, if it does win, I'm not gonna be surprised, but I'm gonna think it probably wasn't the most deserving. Which is very comparable to The King's Speech a few years back. I didn't think that deserved
I also
Best
have another
Movie.
thing too. I don't understand why Amour is even nominated for Best Picture because it's a foreign film.
Mhm.
Even though, but I mean, and nobody's like really watched it other than like the Academy and.
I hadn't even heard
and
of it.
Yeah,
No,
and
I
I
haven't
think
either.
it's kind of bullshit that it's on there because it's just like. That's why they have
It's
Best
pretty much
Foreign
that
Film.
they're just spoiling who's going to win the Best Foreign Film category.
I just don't understand. If you're nominated for Best Foreign Film, why do you have to be nominated for Best
It's
Picture?
nominated for both?
Yes.
Yeah, which
That's
doesn't
really
make
dumb.
any sense.
Yeah.
It
I
doesn't
feel like
make
you
any
should only be able to be
sense.
nominated for one, like, best movie.
Yeah.
Like, you should be able to nominate for all sorts of, like,
But
best
see,
special
but
effects.
that's the problem that they ran into with Pixar films, though. They
Well,
would
that's
always
saying-
win Best Animated Film, but then they never were not even nominated for
Well, that's
Best
why.
Picture.
That's why we
they
have an
created
anime.
the Best Animated Film
that-
category, because Beauty and the Beast almost won Best Film, and they didn't want another cartoon winning a Best Picture award. So they created its own category, so it could never have another animated film.
Right, but
Best
then
Picture.
they expanded their list to 10 though, because then
But that doesn't mean
people
an animated
outraged
movie
over-
will be.
Over
But that's
Dark
the thing,
Knight
yeah.
Wally not getting in.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly, like films like Dark Knight and Wall-E, because
So it's
that's what
kind of
people
a
outraged
hypocritical
over.
thing if they did that for the animation.
Right.
But then you have it for Best Foreign Picture, and then everybody here hasn't seen unless you have an art house. Like, but not like anybody really wants to see it. So that's the only thing is I find that to be a
It's,
little
it's
bullshit.
kind of like the art. I mean, I honestly didn't know about the artist until the
Right.
Academy
Until
Awards.
the Academy
Awards.
Awards. It was like one of those movies, and this is the same.
But
same
technically,
deal.
the artist isn't really like a foreign film because they made it in the U.S. It has French actors in it, but it also has American actors. But that's another thing. Anyway.
Tyler, what do you think? What's your opinion on the Best Picture?
Well, of them I've only seen Lincoln, so.
What did you think of Lincoln? Like, how does it stack? Like,
It definitely has a lot of Oscar bait in it.
Okay.
With whole.
It's Lincoln.
With whole and then you got politics to work off of.
Mm-hmm.
So I if it wins, I wouldn't be surprised, but I do see like all your arguments for like Argo or Zero Dark 30. So
See, I do believe that a good majority of these films probably do belong on the list. Like Argo belongs on that list. It probably doesn't deserve to win. Les
think
Mis
it's getting a
definitely
little bit
belongs
too
on
much,
that list. It's one of the better musicals that have come out in
The past 10 years.
Past 10 years. There you go. Brian and Sander, what are your thoughts?
I'm going to have to say either Lincoln, probably Lincoln.
Probably
Just
Lincoln.
because I don't think a musical is going to win
Yeah.
Best Picture.
As sad as that might be sometimes.
I think it'll be Lincoln because, hell, the whole entire movie is only framed around Lincoln to win the Oscar. If they didn't care about the Oscar, it would have been the 13th Amendment.
Well, that's what. Well, everybody before the Golden Globes and stuff, everybody said that Lincoln was a shoo-in. So I feel like it's gonna be down to Argo and Lincoln.
Yeah.
And so I think everybody right now has changed their minds. Think like Argo's gonna be it, but I can see Lincoln being the upset and taking it.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Ryan, real quickly, your thoughts.
Well, the only two I've seen are Les Mis and Django Unchained. Like he said, I don't think they're going to give it to a musical. And Django Unchained, it's a good movie. Best Picture, no.
I think it would
Fair
be
enough.
amazing if it did win. I think everybody's
Wow.
faces would just be like,
that
what?
would
Just
change
watch.
everyone's view about the Academy
Yeah.
and the Oscars.
I would just want to see Quentin
It's in-
Tarantino go up there and then just be like, what?
Oh, can you,
No,
can
and
you
then
just
like
imagine?
flip the bird to everybody.
That's exactly what if Quentin Tarantino wins that, he'll like go up, he probably will break some FCC rules. Let's just put it that
It'll
way.
just be like this. Fuck.
oh, I'm sure he'll probably like he'll make like some like stick it to you sort of motion to the Academy, and then the next day we hear his award has been retracted.
Make it work.
I know.
That's in my heart. I would love to see
Yeah,
Django
I think
and Shane,
everybody
just
would.
because the reaction on everybody's face.
I mean that would probably get like
He would probably say the N-word throughout his entire speech.
you would probably be able to hear people yell like whoa
Yeah.
like in the theater.
You know what I want to see?
Nah,
is Spike Lee's reaction to Hit with
Oh.
He would probably just be sitting there like this.
That would be great. Who would
James
love to be
Cameron's
that
gonna-
cameraman who has to go find Spike Lee and then just watch him for a
Not
few
even
seconds?
invited. He's not even
James
invited.
Cameron's just gonna like jump up and start lighting fires.
All right. All right, so moving on to the next category.
I haven't said anything yet.
Oh,
Go.
you didn't? Oh, I thought you did.
How dare you?
I'm sorry.
Steven
You guys
is-
have to keep me on like a track
Steven
here.
is the most valued of all of our members.
Thank you.
Steven, what is
More
your
valued than Sandra.
what is your
Even more
thought?
valued than me.
Okay, long story short, I agree with you. I think Argo will win, but I wouldn't be surprised that if Lincoln upsets it. Because I remember when I went to see Lincoln, the second I walked out of the theater, I was like, that's Oscar material. That's like panning to the Oscars so much. And I remember I walked out. It was Thanksgiving, so I was with my family. I said this to them, and they were like, "What? No, you're full of shit." A couple months later, I was like, "Oh look, Oscar nominee." Hey,
It's totally like
Yeah.
like you said, panning. That and Les Mis are two
Les-
Oscar panning.
Oh,
Les Mis, when
absolutely.
you walk out of Les Mis, you immediately
They
know.
made
Yeah.
those movies so like I want to win an
Oscars.
Oscar next year.
I mean, I don't think Lincoln winning what should even be considered an upset. I think Argo is just because everyone's been talking about Argo.
Argo,
so,
yeah.
yeah.
I mean,
But
yeah.
as for the other nominees, Zero Dark 30 and Django Unchained, I was actually going to go see both of those, but around the time I was going to see them, I got really sick, so I couldn't, so I have no idea if they're really actually any that great or not. Because Zero Dark 30, about half the people I've talked to have said they hated it, the other half have said
I wouldn't
that
go
it's
to the
great.
movies
So.
to see it. I would wait till it comes out on DVD.
And that's-
But
and that's
honestly,
probably fair,
I
yeah.
paid money to go see Django.
Yeah,
Django.
All right.
So.
Sorry that I forgot you the first time.
Moving on.
Now we can move on to the best actor in a leading role, and
Who's nominated for that?
and the nominees are Bradley Cooper for Silver Linings Playbook, Daniel Day-Lewis for Lincoln,
I'm with that.
Duh.
Hugh Jackman for Les Mis,
Huh.
Joaquin Phoenix for the
Joaquin.
Joaquin. Is it Joaquin?
It's
Yes.
Joaquin
Okay.
Phoenix.
You are so uncultured. You can't pronounce
Either that,
Joaquin
or I
or
don't follow
Amor.
that actor that often. I don't see a lot of his
He's
films.
River Phoenix.
And the last one, and I'm going to throw my opinion out here right away, Denzel Washington for Flight.
Should've been
He
in it.
should not be
Should've been
on
in
that list. I'm sorry.
Wait, Flight, really?
Flight was not a good movie.
What the fuck?
Flight was not. I'm glad it's not nominated for Best Picture because it doesn't deserve it. You think it's a movie about the crash, because he's
About
like
a crazy
because he flips the plane upside down to land it.
No, it's a movie about like the investigation after.
No, it's not even that.
Wait.
It's a movie about him being a drunk.
And
That's what the movie
cokehead.
is.
Wait,
and a
wait.
cokehead.
I thought the movie was about him trying to get through the investigation with him being a drunk.
It's
It-
that,
that-
and that's like the.
I thought the
second half
investigation
of
was the
movie.
major
You're
conflict.
describing the premise, the idea, but it doesn't come off that way. It comes off as this is a story about a drunk.
Who flies an airplane this one time?
Right, exactly. And then the
And
whole rest of
saves
the time,
everybody.
and then the whole rest of it is just like a PSA for realize when you need help. That's basically what it is.
Hey, but
because
it has, but it has Fred Flintstone in it.
all it is the whole movie just him denying that he's an
drug
alcoholic.
dealer, and every time John Goodman comes on,
I
they play the Rolling Stones song. That one Rolling Stones song to be like, ooh, he's like,
Yeah.
He's like the
Give Me
bad-
Shelter?
It was the
I
one.
think it-
The one from the trailer?
Please allow me to
Oh,
introduce
it's the-
myself. That was the
the-
first one that
Sympathy
they
for the
played.
Devil.
Sympathy for the
I
Devil.
really
Yeah.
love John Goodman. He's one
Yeah.
of my favorite actors of all time. Just because he's great.
Well, John Goodman's interesting because now he's trying to do like a bunch of dramatic roles.
He's like every year he's in a movie that's nominated for Academy Award. Last year he was in The Artist. This year he's in the Argo.
Argo and
Coincidence?
Flight. Yeah.
Or Intention.
So yeah, that's my opinion. Denzel Washington should not be on that list. And
Is there anybody else? Or do you
well,
think
I was gonna say Hugh Jackman. I think, I mean, it's hard for me to say because I really haven't seen the other films. But Hugh Jackman should definitely be a really close frontrunner because he was pretty good in Les Mis. And from there, as somebody else.
But Daniel Day-Lewis as Lincoln. I mean, Daniel Day-Lewis as Lincoln. I mean, is clearly the runaway.
Okay.
I think
If
he's-
now,
Yeah,
now,
that's fair.
now, let's pretend that like he doesn't. Let's pretend that somebody gets one extra vote more because everybody expects him to win. So somebody decides to vote. Who would be second in line to win?
I'd say Hugh Jackman probably.
Honestly, I've heard some interesting things about Joaquin Phoenix in The Master. Like I've never
That's
seen
the
it.
only one I haven't seen on the list.
I haven't seen it, but there was a lot of buzz about that movie, though. So I don't know why I would think that if Daniel Day-Lewis for some reason didn't win, maybe Joaquin Phoenix. I haven't seen Les Mis, so I don't know.
Joaquin Phoenix won't win, and here's why: because
He's
been
crazy.
Well, that, but he's been bitching about the Oscars and how shit it is in the press, and he wouldn't do it.
They are.
So yeah, which it is, it's fine, but most likely because he's bad mouthing them.
Oh, yeah.
They'll get their feelings upset because,
I mean,
but he's telling the truth, so he's not going to win.
If you want to see an interesting acceptance speech, I mean, other than Tarantino,
Oh my god, I would
Joaquin
love to
Phoenix,
see what.
Would
He
it be
probably
like
wouldn't even come
would it
up
be
on
like
the
that-
stage. We do a Brando.
Would it be like that one thing he did when he was like either totally high or acting totally high?
He
I
was
forget.
acting.
Yeah,
like
that's what I
that
thought.
documentary was so bullshit.
and just
So-
one thing, I don't mean to cut you off.
No,
another
it's
thing,
okay.
I'm kind of surprised. I never thought I would ever see Bradley Cooper's name on a thing for
He's
best actor
really,
for.
actually, I like Lincoln, and I figure, but it's such a it's Daniel Day-Lewis, so it's such a go-to thing.
Mhm.
But like Hugh Jackman was good, like singing and everything like that, and like I said, the one big scene that I did that I thought he was really good was that praying scene or whatever.
One of the opening
where he's
scenes,
all,
like where he
his hair-
where he has
like,
his conversion.
somebody on crack
basically.
shaved his head, so it's all uneven, and he's all whatever. But Bradley Cooper playing somebody with a bipolar disorder and just going off was actually pretty good. So I would say that even though Lincoln is good and everything like that, but Bradley Cooper had such he was playing somebody with clearly has mental problems, which he probably put more effort into it than maybe say Daniel Day-Lewis. Maybe the same level of the other guys. That's what I always look forward toward, who put more effort
most
and
effort.
which one would be harder.
Fair enough. What's Costa? What's your thought of who should win?
I don't know about who should win. I mean, because the only movie on this list I've seen is Lincoln, and Daniel Day-Lewis is the clear front runner, so I don't see any reason why I would choose anyone other than him. But if he didn't, I don't know why. Since I've heard things about The Master, I guess Joaquin Phoenix as a surprise choice.
Like Costa, I've only seen Lincoln on the list. I haven't heard much about Joaquin Phoenix though, so I have no idea if he might win or not. So.
Yeah, same thing. I've only seen Lincoln.
Everybody's only seen Lincoln.
But I think easily one of the things that would give him the Oscar is just all the lines and stories he had to memorize for that.
Okay, fair enough.
Not another one of your damned stories.
I'm going to break the chain. I've only seen Les Mis, so
Get out.
You're done.
But yeah, I mean, Hugh Jackman from that did very well. I'm not sure how he did with compared to any of these others. So
Okay, yeah. I mean, like I said, I think Hugh Jackman did do pretty well. Like him and Anne Hathaway, in my opinion, were
Yeah.
probably the better actors in that movie. So I mean, we'll see. It's probably going to be Daniel Day-Lewis. Next category.
Will he accept the award as Lincoln?
That'd be awesome.
I doubt he would. I really doubt he would.
You know, if he
I mean,
better,
he did
the
get
guy
the,
from Gangs of
Golden
New York,
Globe
he should
for-
accept like
for
that.
actor, so
What?
he did also get the Golden Globe for actor.
Oh, well, there you go.
So
There's your
nothing there
precedent.
for him.
So our next category, I don't know how many of these films you all will have seen, so this might end up being our shorter segment. Actress in a leading role. Jessica Chastain, Zero Dark 30, thank you with help pronunciations. Jennifer Lawrence in not Hunger Games, but Silver Linings Playbook.
Is she any good?
It's, I honestly, any actress could have played that role.
Uh-huh. Yeah, okay, fair enough.
I've heard good things about the movie.
It's good, but you could have put anybody.
The next one on the list is Emmanuel Riva for Amor. Sorry, my pronunciation. I'm hungry. My pronunciation is not working today.
Matt saw a dead deer on the road today.
I know which one you're talking about.
I don't even want to pronounce this name. It's
Kuvenzane.
Kuvenzane for Wallace for Beasts of Southern Wild. Good luck pronouncing that one.
I like if I want her to win just so they can just be like the girl, that little girl. You come here, you won.
Q Wallace, come on up.
Up on stage now.
The very last one is Naomi Watts, The Impossible.
That's the only. Well, other than Amor, that's the only one I haven't watched yet.
Well, then let's turn to you. How many else of these movies have all of us seen?
I've seen The Impossible. I hated it.
And did you hate Naomi Watts?
It was the most Oscar. It's like everyone there was just like, give me my Oscar, the movie.
And there's water.
I've only seen Zero Dark 30. Of all the ones, that's the only one movie I've seen, Zero Dark 30.
What do you think of Jessica Chastain?
I mean, there was a lot of buzz. I mean, about her in the movie. I mean, she did an okay job. You know, she wasn't bad. Did Jennifer Lawrence win a Golden Globe earlier?
Jennifer Lawrence won. She won for the comedy section.
Okay.
And then Chastain won for drama.
So then in that case.
So now it's so they're together. So now they're the front runners. But here's my problem. I think even though they're the front runners, Chastain. The thing is, I think any actress could have played either one of those roles.
Mm-hmm.
Chastain's role was just like whatever. They're saying it's so great. I was like, all she did was run around like, where's Osama?
Where's Osama?
And we're back to Batman.
Yeah, and I was like, okay, there's nothing really like, there's nothing, and I was bored, so I was just like, there's nothing here that really like is like, right. Oh my god, this is an Oscar-worthy performance. And then this with Lawrence, it's a good role, but I personally think she was too young for it.
Okay.
And I also think that anybody could have played that role and still gotten the same good performance that anybody could have been nominated for. And so I think, Jessica Chastain could have been in Silver Linings Playbook. Right. Okay. But because the girl's only like 22, and it really kind of was, it seemed like it should have been a role for somebody that's like in their 30s. Yeah, that makes sense. Enough. So yeah. I went the little girl from Beasts of Southern Wild.
Dark horse candidate.
Just because she was really good.
And
for a 5-year-old.
And a non-professional actor.
Non-professional actor.
Would they even...
Not to mention the father. Hell, the father is like works in a deli.
Yeah, he worked at a deli and he was helping out and they grabbed him and he is really good too. And I'm surprised that he wasn't nominated for best.
It's probably because he's from outside the system. And they don't want to. They don't want to. They don't want to reward that kind of thing.
I'm looking at it now. Like, it's sad if she is a good actor because I don't think she has a chance. I mean, she's only 9. Youngest actor ever to receive a nomination.
Like, she was like 6 or whatever when she did it.
Yeah, somehow. I mean, it's definitely a great honor for her, but I just don't know if I can imagine the Academy giving the award to a 9-year-old.
They've given it to. They've given like awards to kids. Before,
but never like such a big one.
But for lead actress, though, I mean, honestly,
it's supporting actress, and then I don't remember if what's Tatum O'Neal if she was best actress or best supporting actress.
I think it's clear that it's a coin flip between Chastain and Lawrence. I
think it'll go to Chastain because I think they'll think that Jennifer Lawrence is still still young. Like, she hasn't, like, she'll be nominated. This is her second Academy Award nomination, so she'll probably be nominated again. She was probably better in Winter's Bone than she is in this movie just because of more dynamics. So I think it's going to go to probably Chastain.
Okay, well, all right, then let's just move on to the next topic. Now we're going to move on to actor in a supporting role. I'm just going to read through these quickly. Alan Arkin for Argo, Robert De Niro in Silver Linings Playbook, Philip Seymour Hoffman for The Master, Tommy Lee Jones in Lincoln, and Christoph Waltz in Django. I was gonna do it. Django Unchained.
Django.
I vote for the Honorable Congressman Stevens or Senator Stevens from Pennsylvania.
My one comment about this list is that Alan Arkin was good in Argo, but
not great.
There's no difference between what he did in Argo and probably the last film that he did. He's a good actor, but he's not one that like you watch and you're like, wow, that really blew me away as a performance. And a lot of the performances in Argo didn't really have
they didn't really have. They should have nominated John Goodman as well.
Right, exactly. They didn't really have a lot of roles.
Win every award ever.
They just didn't have a lot of roles that had a lot of like Oscar bait style to him, like because Ben Affleck in Argo, he didn't really have to do much. He just had to like look around and talk. He didn't have any like emotional scenes.
Alan Arkin, that guy with the mustache.
He probably was.
Actor
that
who almost got them caught the one time. That guy should have been nominated.
Let's go around. Yeah, what are your guys' thoughts?
As much as I loved Alan Arkin in Argo, I really do.
Oh, he was great, but he's just not.
Yeah, I don't think he's like winner of the category. No, probably Tommy Lee Jones, just because.
Well, he was freaking amazing in Lincoln.
Well, he was, but
he was one of the best actors in that movie.
And I'll bet I've always loved Tommy Lee Jones, and that's one of the reasons why I really wanted to see Lincoln. Did you see him in those Enterprise commercials? He looks like he's the most boring person. Not Enterprise, it was like American Enterprise. And he always looks like he's the most bored person in the ever to do a commercial.
Doesn't want to be there.
Protecting your family.
I didn't even know he was in Lincoln until I actually got into the theater and saw him, and I'm like, oh, Tommy Lee Jones. How you doing?
What do you guys think?
How you doing?
I really, really love Christopher Waltz in Django Unchained.
You just look. He was
now,
like Christopher Waltz.
Does he deserve the nomination more than Leonardo DiCaprio?
What?
He won the Oscar.
Right, that's what I thought.
I think.
See, the thing is, I'm trying to recall.
Because I know when the nominations came out, there was a lot of uproar about Leonardo DiCaprio.
Leonardo DiCaprio wasn't nominated.
I like Christopher Waltz's role in the movie more than Leonardo DiCaprio, but I can't tell if that's because of the actor or because of the way the character is written.
Okay.
Because I also just love the way his dialogue works and everything like I just love that character.
Okay, fair enough.
For me, I wrote down for Tommy Lee Jones. He's easily my favorite scenes in the movie.
The motion carries.
Yay or nay.
Tommy Lee Jones is going to win, but
probably.
But I would have liked to have seen DiCaprio in because I feel like it would have then been a race between Jones and DiCaprio, but now it's a race between Waltz and Jones, I think. And I personally think that Waltz's performance was kind of like kind of almost in the same aspect as his Inglourious Bastards performance, just the way it was. Even though he was good, but I feel like that dinner scene with DiCaprio was much more powerful than what Waltz did in the entire movie.
Fair enough. All right, let's move on to actress in a supporting role. We have Amy Adams in The Master, Sally Field in Lincoln, Anne Hathaway in Les Mis. We have Helen Hunt in The Sessions, and Jackie Weaver for Silver Linings Playbook. Go ahead. What do you think?
I think this might be the one award I think where Les Mis gets.
I agree.
I think everybody agrees that it's probably going to go to Anne Hathaway.
And that's not to say that any of the other nominees aren't deserving, but if you watch Les Mis and especially when you watch the Dream to Dream song, after
dream of time.
Yes, thank you, Sander.
And she shaved her head.
Right, exactly. After you see all that in the first the first half of the movie.
20 minutes
the first 20 minutes, and you're just like, yeah, she's good. And then she's gone for the rest of the film, and then you're like, oh crap.
The only thing I don't look forward to is like when she's called up, she's gonna act surprised. She's gonna cry through her entire speech. She's gonna I just be like, oh God, like, come on now.
As soon as she walks up the stage, she'll just say to someone, just as planned.
Forward his ass, I have proceed.
Just as a quick aside, I wonder, how for as many people bet on things in the Super Bowl, I wonder if they bet on things in the Oscars.
Oh, yeah.
Do they? Okay, do they bet like the over-under on how long somebody's acceptance speech is going to be?
I don't know if they do that. They try and cut it.
Well, right, but even then, like when they try to cut it though, some people still ramble.
Vegas had betting on whether or not Beyonce would be wearing pants during the halftime show.
Well, she was not.
She was not
wearing
Super
pants.
Bowl.
So I don't know.
Wearing like those fishnet.
I don't know what the over/under was, but I mean, you would have made more money if you bet that she wasn't going to wear pants, and then she wasn't even. But whatever.
What was it? 1 year, like a few years ago, because they tell everybody like they want you like this is how many. If you get up there, this is how many seconds, and like we will cut you off. And then I remember 1 year they told they told everybody like whoever has the quickest acceptance speech will give you like I don't know if it was a car or like a big ass screen TV or something.
They'll give you a bigger Oscar.
Right? It's made of chocolate, but it was like a TV or something. So
wow.
That
would get me to shut up.
I think it was like maybe like best foreign film. They just like ran off because they didn't know what they were saying and they probably won it. I swear that.
Thanks.
If that was me for best director, I'd be like, I'd like to thank God, my family, and everybody else. Bye. That's it.
I got TV. Yes.
I'd run up to the thing. I'd like to say my family and everybody else. Goodbye.
What you do is you walk up there and you just hold up in the air.
You don't even say anything.
That would be the Quentin Tarantino speech. If he won, he would just walk up, go. And then he'd go flip up the bird, and then he would walk off.
He doesn't walk up. He just gets up and leaves.
Joaquin Phoenix, he walks up to the stage, just grabs, reaches up to grab his.
He might even like look at it. I wouldn't be surprised if like Phoenix even like looking at it.
I think
sniffs it, maybe bites it.
And walking away.
That would be the coolest
Drops
thing.
it, gives everybody the finger and walks away.
The Oscars 2013 race for the Super Oscar.
The next day, Quentin Tarantino is never allowed back in the Oscars.
Worth it.
All right, so I think we came to a general consensus on Anne Hathaway there. So let's move on. Animated feature film.
Woohoo!
Yeah, this one should be interesting. Oh boy, we're gonna have a discussion here. So the first one, to nobody's surprise, Brave, and that done by Pixar. What?
Pixar's annual nomination.
Yeah, basically. Frank and Weenie, which is done by Tim Burton. There's Paranorman. There's Pirates, Band of Misfits.
What?
They just need to fill out.
I also do think that's a filler. That's a filler candidate because I looked at that.
Is that by the Veggie Tales?
It was like it's claymation.
Are you serious?
It's claymation.
Wait, it's actually by the Veggie Tales?
It's by Wallace and Gromit.
Okay.
Then I
it's
care.
in that same
And
style.
it has Hugh Jackman.
Then I actually care about that.
And then
They won before.
I
and
think
then of
Hugh
course
Jackman voiced a character.
the last nominee is Wreck-It Ralph.
Woo!
I think everybody would like to see Wreck-It Ralph win. I haven't seen. The only ones I haven't seen are the Pirates one and Brave. But people say Brave's gonna win, but a lot of people said that it wasn't good.
I honestly don't.
So people were pissed when it won the Golden Globe.
I have seen Brave and I've seen Wreck-It Ralph. I can't really say much for the other ones, but it's probably going to be a 2-horse race between Brave and Wreck-It Ralph. And if that's the case, I mean, everybody's already penning it in as Pixar victory. But remember, there are rare times where the Academy does decide not to go with Pixar.
Yeah,
I think it was last year when it was Cars and Cars 2.
Yes, Cars.
They passed on both of those films. And Brave is better than both of those films, but it's nowhere near the levels of like Up or WALL-E or Toy Story 3 or any of those. So I honestly do think Wreck-It Ralph made it a very big bid to win, and I think that's what everybody wants to have happen. I'm going to put it out there. Like, I would almost bet money that is what's going to happen. That's what I honestly believe is what they're going to do.
If they don't want, like, if they decide, like, you know what, realize that Brave wasn't as good as usual, it'll probably go to Wreck-It Ralph. Personally, I'd rather like to see Frank and Weenie or Paranorman win.
Mm-hmm.
Because
Those would be real dark horse candidates. To
yeah,
win,
I actually liked. I think animation wise, they're pretty they're because it's stop motion. Like especially Paranorman is like really beautiful to look at, and Frankenweenie is really good. Plus, it's been Tim Burton's best movie in like so many years. I like cried like 3 times during the movie. 2 of it was just sad scenes, and the last one was just because it was a good Tim Burton movie. And I was so happy.
Finally, you had one.
I was with my sister, like, oh my god, he did it.
You were so proud of you, Tim.
But Wreck-It Ralph was good, and then once they got to Candyland, it lost me. And that's where I was like, I liked it up to that point, and then we got into Candyland, and I was just like,
I still think it was good. I do think they did spend a little bit too long in just that candy world, or Candyland, whatever.
I don't know what it is. I just called it Candyland.
What do you guys think?
Okay.
Anybody?
First off, I'm incredibly pissed that Arrietty was not nominated.
Does any of us know what
No.
Arrietty is
No
besides you?
It's a Miyazaki movie.
Stop rooting for obscure movies.
Was that this year though? Or was it last year?
Well, it came out in Japan 2 years ago, but it came out here this year.
That might be the thing.
Except Spirited Away did the same thing. It came out. It ended up winning Best Animated Picture in 2001. 2002, even though it came out in like 2000.
You know what, Ryan? You might have a very successful thing here if you started like the Ryans or something. Like you could really give all these movies a nice honor.
Miyazaki's like Walt Disney of.
Right, and I know the name, and I'm not blasting you for your opinions. I'm just saying you could probably make a great case for a lot of these obscure films, which would be great, you know. But yeah, go ahead.
Anyway,
if you wanted to finish,
Brave was meh. Wreck-It Ralph was better than Brave, but still kind of meh.
Really?
It was that same issue with the Candyland thing.
I didn't think that was that bad, though.
I just think it just got
it just kind of grounds the movie to a halt.
I would have liked him just to go.
Anyway, I personally like to see Paranorman win.
Okay,
Paranorman's really good.
That's cool. You guys go ahead.
I actually haven't seen any of these movies. This is one of the first years I haven't seen any animated movies in theaters.
Whoa.
And
whoa.
I actually was gonna go see Wreck-It Ralph, but when I actually ducked out of seeing that one mainly because my roommate was really excited for it, and he's like a huge fan of video games. So actually hanging around him turned me off of the movie. So we made a deal. He'd go see Wreck-It Ralph. I'd go see Skyfall. I regret nothing.
All right, I do like that outcome.
But
that's actually pretty good.
The only other thing I can say about these nominees is I don't want Frankenweenie to win. Because I don't like Tim Burton. He has too low of a reputation with me for me to root for any of these movies.
You must have been watching the movies from
the last 10 years. I've seen.
I loved Corpse Bride, but
it's not as good. But
yeah, I'd have to say I'm really getting sick of Tim Burton doing the same basic thing.
I'm sick of Tim Burton and Johnny Depp and Helena Bonham Carter.
Mm-hmm. Yes,
I'm tired.
But that's the thing. That's why Frankowini's so great because they're not
right. Yeah. And I was going to ask you too. I was going to ask that earlier.
Instead, he brought back.
Because even Corpse Bride had Johnny Depp in it.
He brought back He brought back Catherine O'Hara, who was in Beetlejuice, and then the guy, I can't remember the actor, but who was in Ed Wood, who played Boris Karloff.
Plus, I've seen the original student film that Frankenweenie is based off of, and it works better as a short than it does as a full-length movie.
Okay.
I like the short, but then the movie was good too because it I don't know. I guess you'd have to see it because I like the short too. But it does work kind of as an animation as well.
Let's see. Well, personally, I haven't seen any of them fully. I have seen parts of Brave and parts of Issy. I wasn't too amazed with it. Mm-hmm. Just Stanford. So I agree with what you guys saying that it'll probably be between Brave and Wreck-It Ralph. I would root for Wreck-It Ralph.
And oh, good.
Or could end up being Brave just on the virtue of Pixar. And for the actual number, since the best anime feature award was created back in 2001, Pixar has won every time they had a movie except for Cars 2, and Monsters Inc.
Oh, that makes me sad.
Monsters Inc. lost to Shrek.
I mean,
oh,
yeah.
dang. Honestly,
cool.
that I can understand.
Yeah.
I've never seen
The first
Monsters,
Shrek
Inc.
was good. You should watch Monsters Inc. It's pretty good.
Yeah, I'm just gonna end up echoing the same sentiment. Like my heart wants Wreck-It Ralph to win. Like I actually really enjoyed Wreck-It Ralph being like the huge geek that I am.
Mm-hmm.
I like really enjoyed
Me
Wreck-It
too.
Ralph. But I've seen Brave, and because it's Pixar. And also
everybody's putting so much into that, but they didn't make a good movie though.
But, I mean,
if it was a good movie, not a great movie, I should say. It wasn't a bad movie, but it wasn't a great movie.
But I think
It's not on the same
the one thing that Brave
Right.
though, again, I mean, since it's an animated film, I think one thing that has to be taken into account are the visual aspects of the film, and Brave was a very visually pleasing looking film.
Yeah.
Like it was very well done animated, and we were talking about it earlier today. Pixar's finally figured out how to make hair look.
I always thought their hair
films.
detail was pretty good.
But I mean,
in
obviously,
past films.
I think I want Wreck-It Ralph to win, but there's a part of me that thinks that Brave will just probably end up winning.
See, and I'm just going to throw out my last opinion on it too. I honestly don't think Brave is going to win because the Academy is good enough to realize when Pixar doesn't make something great or to recognize when something is better than a Pixar film. And it's the sad fact that a lot of years, and again, this is just my opinion now, a lot of years, the movies that are nominated, a lot of them you can't go down the list and say, oh yeah, that was definitely better than the Pixar movie that year. That was definitely better. Like, I can't say this was better than WALL-E that year. This was better than Toy Story 3. This was better than... But I can say Wreck-It Ralph is better than Brave.
Yeah, but
I could say whatever...
Yeah.
What won it when Cars 2 came out? Or Cars 1?
Rango.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rango. Like, Rango, I could say was...
Rango was
Cars
really
2.
good.
Yeah. When Rango...
But Cars 2 wasn't even nominated.
Like, when I watched Rango... I said that's gonna win.
That's
Because
gonna win.
and that's what I said when I got out of Wreck-It Ralph, and I had already seen Brave, and I said Wreck-It Ralph's gonna win.
Yeah,
What
Brave
movie-
did win for
when,
the Golden Globe.
Yeah, but
What
the
movie
Golden
beat
Globes.
Cars?
When Cars was nominated, Happy Feet won.
Happy Feet.
And
Yeah.
Happy Feet was still better than
Visually.
I mean probably better than Cars.
I remember
I
when
did
Happy
enjoy
Feet
Cars, though.
won, and Fox News was talking about how it was like bad because it was approving of homosexuality because they extended the metaphor about him dancing to a metaphor about homosexuality.
But everybody dances in that movie.
Yeah.
Not even kidding.
I know.
Okay,
well,
that's-
it's Fox News.
That's Fox
Let's
News.
move on.
But
They did
yeah.
the same with the Muppets. They said the Muppets was about communism.
See, but we're doing exactly what Fox News wants us to do by talking about them. So let's move on.
And then just
I
my
don't care, it's
my
fun.
last quick comment about Brave is that the big twist in the movie that they hid in all the trailers. That
Don't
was the
tell me.
I'm not revealing it, but I'm just saying that was the only really thing that made the movie interesting. And
Supposedly
that
it scared the shit out of a bunch of kids, including my little cousin.
well, and that's the thing. What you don't expect is that it had a darker sense of humor than any other Pixar film. Not a darker, but like a slightly more mature sense of humor than the previous Pixar films. They definitely aimed their target audience a little bit higher.
Well, now
for
that you guys
Brave.
are talking about this big twist, I kind of want to see
And,
it.
well, okay,
I'll
but
start
it's
torrenting
just
it right
a
now.
not spoken of
I'm trying to
twist,
think
basically.
If I did
Like
see
it's the
movie
main
with
twist of the movie. You know,
people
that's
told me what it was.
it's the one thing that about the movie that really is the only real hooking factor of it. You know what I mean? It's the only one that actually like makes it
But
a
it makes
really good,
everybody
a
go,
decent
"What?"
movie. I guess it was just
Stop
kind of out there.
ruining things.
Anyway,
All right, next
yeah,
category,
let's move
go.
on. I just wanted to throw that out there. So for cinematography is our next category.
Where's Kelly at?
I know, right? Kelly couldn't be
Kelly's
here for this
studying
one,
for
unfortunately. The first nominee is Anna Karenina.
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 Seen it.
Karenina.
Karenina.
And
Russian.
it was Seamus
Seamus.
Seamus McGarvey.
Seamus.
I boil it to be Seamus.
Okay, next one, Django Unchained, Robert
Good
Richardson.
boy. Good boy.
Life of Pi, Claudio Miranda. Lincoln, Janusz Kamenetsky, and then.
When he was so
He was a suit he played.
Cameraman.
He played with the camera.
He played cameraman number 1.
Ooh, what a role of a lifetime.
And then the last nominee is Skyfall, and that was Roger Deakins. Now, I mean, I haven't really seen any of the other films. I love the cinematography of Skyfall.
Yeah,
so I'm gonna throw my
that
my
one
hat into
long
Skyfall.
shot where he's just walking down.
Yeah, the introduction
I
to
love
Javier
that.
Bardem's character. Yeah,
Mr.
That really was great.
That was probably my favorite scene in the whole movie. Was that initial introduction of Mr. Solo.
Now, I mean, we got into the movie late, so we had to get like one of the, like when we first saw it, we got like, you know, those close-up scenes, and that was the one thing that I did hate, is that you know, the screen looked bent, so I couldn't really get, like, I could see how all the shots were, and I'm like, oh my god, these shots would be so cool if I was sitting all the way back there.
Yeah, I mean,
it's all Costa's fault for getting us there late.
Skyfall, Anna Karenina, what was the other ones again?
Django,
Django.
Life of Pi,
Right.
Lincoln.
You're awesome.
Now, from the trailers, Life of Pi cinematography looked pretty
Life
good.
of Pi, I would say, I mean, I would like Lincoln, whatever. Anna Karenina I have not seen, so I can't say.
Mhm.
And then, so I'd say either, I'd agree, like Skyfall was good, and then I did see Life of Pi, which was pretty good too.
Mhm.
So I'd say either Life of Pi or maybe Skyfall.
I just want to see Skyfall win something.
An
Well,
award.
it should have at least gotten Best Picture,
Best
because
Picture,
I
yes.
loved it.
Oh yeah.
And Judi Dench should have been should be nominated for
For
supporting
supporting-
actress,
yeah,
because then Anne Hathaway.
And especially since they're celebrating 50
I still
years
think
of
Anne
Bond,
Hathaway
the fact they didn't even give it
Yes!
a chance.
I agree with you.
Like you
that's
could have at least just given it like the courtesy nod. I mean, you
Right.
had an extra space available. You only have 9 movies.
Yeah, instead, what did they put in instead?
Well,
A
no,
more,
nothing.
maybe?
There's not. You have 10 spaces, but they only put in 9 movies. So you
Oh,
have
They
yeah.
should have filled it up. They
Yeah,
should,
I
if
don't-
they have 10 spaces, they should fill it up. You could have
But
had
it's-
Skyfall, you could have put the Avengers,
But
you
it's
could
the
have put all these other
but it's
bullshit
the
movies.
Academy. They don't want to give, you know, an action movie a chance. They want to give a movie that has
It
meaning.
doesn't have to win. It just gives people, it makes like the fanboys and stuff happy that it was recognized, because that's the ones that people are going to remember.
But the funny thing though is that if Skyfall were on the nomination list for Best Picture, you know, it would be there would be an overwhelming. I mean, besides Lincoln, there would be an overwhelming favor for Skyfall to win. Like it was my favorite movie of 2012.
It won
fantastic.
for the, what was it, the Brit Awards or the BAFTA.
The BAFTA.
It won like Best British Film.
That's
I don't know if it
awesome.
was the overall film, but I agree with that.
But just say I got Skyfall on Blu-ray and watching it again, I'm like, yay! I can enjoy the cinematography this time around. What do you guys think? If you like Sander or Ryan, you have
Only
any
thing I've
comments?
seen is Skyfall. So
Skyfall. Have any comments? Okay. All right. Cool. All right.
Unanimous.
Skyfall.
Everybody
We're
says
rooting for you, Skyfall.
Give it something. Give Bond something other than Best.
Yeah. They started playing that song at my work now, and they like changed the station or something without telling us, because you know the same songs played every single day. And then I heard it, and I'm like, and I literally stopped and looked up at the ceiling. I was
Are you
like,
waiting for
Skyfall? Anyway, so the next one is
And then the
costume.
sky fell on Mike.
The next one is costume design, and we have Anna Karenina, Les Mis, we have Lincoln, we have Mirror Mirror, which
Bullshit.
yeah,
What?
exactly. And guess what? Its counterpart, Snow White and the Huntsman. So basically,
Let's
the two
give
Snow White
and the
movies.
Huntsman.
Wait,
Fist fight to pick.
were there 2 Snow White movies?
Yes.
Yeah.
Are you fucking
And they
serious?
came out within I
month
think
of
like
each other.
at least a month of each other.
Wow.
Mirror is one of the worst films ever of like, you know, like it's not quite Room or Troll 2 levels, but it's close.
You know,
Wow.
That's how bad that movie is. I have no idea why Julia Roberts wanted to be in that film. I think she's done,
Bored.
honestly, in terms of acting. I don't think there's anything more that Julia Roberts can do.
Have you seen it?
Yeah, well,
Okay.
me and my girlfriend, we went to Benji's one night, and I think
Okay.
it was the last. It was like, I think it was the last one. We really went to go see. Oh, I don't remember what movie we went to go see.
You
so
went to see the one movie that you want to see, and then
right,
they
it was
always
like the
have
middle
one
movie.
You don't want
Yeah,
to see.
it was the middle movie that was the one we were really excited for. And then we started to watch like the first half hour, Mirror Mirror,
And then you're like,
and
"Oh."
we got out of there.
You know
was
how
so crappy.
How bad that movie was? I was flying back from a red eye flight from LA to here, and I couldn't fall asleep, even though it was like later at night. And I was like, and I could have watched it and I was like, you know what, I'm not gonna watch this, even though it's the only thing that could entertain me right now. I would rather just stare out the window.
And trust me, that is the better choice in that
I'd
situation.
See it in the corner, I'd be like, and it'd be like it seemed like 3 hours went by, and it was still on.
Well, it's like one of those bad things that you shouldn't watch, but I kind of want to.
I mean, if you watch it with a group of friends and you're ready to make fun of it, then yeah, it's probably great. And yeah, drinking probably would add to
Anyway,
it.
this is a costume.
I know, but I also just want to throw out there, it also didn't help that it came out like after Snow White and the Huntsman, because Snow White and the Huntsman was a serious take on Snow White.
It came out before.
Well,
right?
before. I'm sorry, it did come out before. Did I say that?
You said
Mirror Mirror came out before, right?
No. Snow White came out before Mirror Mirror did.
Okay, you two get your Snow
All right,
White.
Tyler, check on this.
I'm pretty sure of that. But either way, I saw Snow White first, and then I saw Mirror Mirror.
And then you're like,
and
whoa.
when you watch a serious take of Snow White, even if it isn't the greatest movie ever, it's still better than this comedy version that isn't taking itself seriously at all.
Suddenly, Kristen Stewart actually looks good.
Well,
she doesn't have a unibrow like the girl in Mirror Mirror does.
Snow White, I honestly...
Okay, so actually, they came out the same day.
No!
Wait, no, sorry. Hang on.
No, that's not
no,
true.
they didn't, sorry.
That's not true.
I mixed up May and March. Sorry, my
Which
bad.
one came out first?
All right,
Snow White did, didn't it?
Mirror Mirror came out in
Mirror
March.
Mirror, Snow White
Really?
came out in
Yeah.
Angel.
Okay, well, I saw Snow White first, and then I saw Mirror Mirror, and
Let's just give it to Mirror. Let's just give it to Snow White.
No, give it to Snow White because Snow White was at least. I didn't think it was terrible, but it was a decent film.
You don't think Les Mis
How about
would win for best costume?
Can we just like?
Oh
not
no!
give
I
it
think
to
Les Mis would win it. Yeah, that would be my first pick. But
I think they're just comparing it to Snow White.
Well, yeah. I mean, yeah. Oh, of course
went
you're
to
gonna give
Snow
it
White
to Snow White and Huntsman, but I think I mean, I haven't seen Snow White and the Huntsman. I mean,
it's okay.
But,
it really doesn't matter.
But I think I of course I've seen like the trailers and whatnot. I think it's fair to be able to at least judge the costumes just by seeing that. I think it could have a chance, but I'm pretty sure it's gonna go to Les Mis.
Hey, Thor is in it, so.
Thor, and it's just like, just get rid of the hammer and give him an axe.
Gods and
and
vampires.
then I'm thinking about, I'm like, the one part of like everything else was just like, okay, it just looks like regular like medieval costumes, and then I'm like, does bathing in milk and then come up like count as a costume for Charlize Theron?
She was
bathing in milk.
Just bathing in milk and crown.
Hey, you know what? If you think the bathing in milk is weird, watch Mirror Mirror.
I don't want to watch Mirror Mirror.
There's some random thing about a bee on her nose that apparently helps beautify her. I don't know what that is, but it was the weirdest montage you will ever watch in a movie. Ever.
Nose montage?
But anyway, what back here? What do you? I mean, any thoughts?
Only seen Les Mis.
Les Mis, go for it.
I think you drove them away with your rant on Mirror Mirror.
And I think
I'm
there's
like
too loud too.
one person now left listening to the podcast. And that's probably one of us.
Sorry, everybody.
Yeah.
The Filmmakers Not As podcast hasn't aired yet.
Podcast?
In the future, it will have aired.
Podcast?
Podcast?
No.
Podcast?
Pad cats.
Okay. Anyway, we're moving on. The next category.
I don't respect you, Mike.
Directing. The first one up is Amour. It says Michael Haneke. Beast of the Southern Wild by Ben Zeitlin. Life of Pi by Ang Lee. Lincoln, Steven Spielberg. Silver Linings Playbook by David O. Russell. I don't really have comments, so the floor is up to you guys. I haven't really seen any of those.
Spielberg.
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 Brian,
Well,
you want to? I think you
gonna
want to
say
object.
some Japanese.
Don't say Miyazaki.
He's gonna say Miyazaki.
well, I was just gonna say I haven't seen Life of Pi, but I tend to like Ang Lee, so I don't know.
It's fair. Okay, should we move on? Is that the consensus?
That was fast.
I don't care.
Okay.
You know, the thing is, I
I abstain.
don't care. I don't think the Amour guy guy should win because nobody's seen his movie except for the Academy. Steven Spielberg will probably win, but I don't think
because
it's his
he's
greatest
Steven
movie.
Spielberg.
Yeah.
Steven Spielberg is to directing what Meryl Streep is to the acting award.
like last year when she won for like the movie that sucked, but they gave her whatever the Prime Minister.
Yeah,
Iron
it
Lady.
was
I was like,
yeah,
why are you winning a movie that sucked?
Just imagine Steven Spielberg is like looking at all of his shelf of awards. Goes like Schindler's List, Saving Private Ryan, and this is where Lincoln will go.
Right, yeah.
He already has the spot cleaned up and shined, greased, waxed, all that. All right, next one, documentary feature. We have 5 Broken Cameras, which is by Ernest Bernad and Guy Davidi. Okay, that's interesting. I'm not going to go through the names anymore because there's a lot of them. The Gatekeepers, How to Survive a Plague, The Invisible War, and Searching for Sugar Man.
Never heard of them.
I haven't seen any of these, so I can't say.
Sugar Man's really good.
I've never seen any of these.
Now, I haven't seen any of these, but did anybody else read that story about this guy? I think it was Imad. He got held up at LAX because the policemen didn't believe. What's his nationality? That he's a foreigner.
He's Israeli or Palestinian.
Yeah, and they didn't believe that he could have made an Oscar-nominated film. He told them he was there for the Oscars, and they detained him because they didn't believe him.
They totally don't racial profile.
And then he had to call.
Michael Moore.
He had to call Michael Moore, who's on like the committee for the Oscars, to like help
write him a note.
Out. Yeah, basically write him a note and somebody to come to get him because I was like, well, why would you? Even if he came, I was like, why are you holding him up? He's still visiting.
I don't know.
That's
it's
crazy. The only one on this list I've even heard of is The Invisible War, but I've never seen any of these, so I really don't have
How to Survive a Plague is on Netflix Instant, and that was pretty good. And that's about the
plague?
No. It's about
AIDS
and about people in the like mid to late 80s and early 90s.
Wait, we're still talking about that?
Well, it was them. It's basically I think they were called ACT UP or whatever, and they were trying to get it's them to give medicine and experimental drugs to it. So it was really good.
Right.
But I hear that Searching for Sugar Man, everybody keeps on talking about that, and I think that's gonna win because everybody says it's really good. It's I think it's about a musician in the '60s that was like that like released music, and then he suddenly disappeared, and supposedly over in I don't know if it's Africa or whatever, like he's huge over there and he doesn't realize it, and like the whole documentary is them trying to find this guy to see what happened to him because they don't know if he's dead or what, and realizing
was he dead?
I think he wasn't. I think they actually found him like in like somewhere like as like a electrician or something, and he had no idea that.
I thought you were gonna say like they found him somewhere up in the mountains.
Right. I think it's like he was in Pittsburgh or whatever, and he's like a carpenter or something, and he didn't realize that he's like a huge. Like his music is huge over in another country.
I was a musician once. Actually, you're still famous. Oh.
You might want to collect those royalty checks.
all right. Let's. I'm just gonna speed through this next section. Documentary shorts. I really doubt any of us have seen any of these. So good luck to all you documentary short makers who are nominated. Let's just put it that way. Film editing, which is kind of more interesting, I guess. Argo. Life of Pi, Lincoln, Silver Linings Playbook, Zero Dark 30. You could honestly copy and paste half of the list.
Zero Dark 30 should not be in it because they should have cut that down. I don't know. I don't care.
For Argo, the editing was good, but it was nothing like spectacular. Like it's not one of those films where you watch it and you're like, wow, that's great how they put these sequences together. No,
I would have given it to Django.
Django.
I don't know why. I just would have.
Any comments about Lincoln? You guys have seen Lincoln?
Its editing wasn't spectacular.
Yeah, it was enough to pass by, but
okay.
You know what they should do? They should show they should tell how much shit they had to edit, and then whoever had so much then was able to combine it down.
Our ratio was 200.
Yeah, the ratio, and then do that.
Or how about Life of Pi? Who's seen Life of Pi?
Actually, I think that should win it mainly because I've heard that Life of Pi was supposedly unfilmable until they filmed it.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
It is a good
too.
movie.
Yeah.
So let's do that.
Okay, cool. We'll go. That's our prediction, everybody. Foreign language film. Ryan. No, just kidding.
Is anyone Japanese even nominated?
Well, let's go through the list. There's Amor, Kon-Tiki, which is Norway. No, which is Chile. A Royal Affair, which is Denmark, and War Witch, which is Canada.
We
It's
all
not
know
just
it's gonna go to
foreign.
Count as foreign.
The movie's just called No.
Yeah, it's just called
I bet
No.
it's a rape movie.
You can watch us spit on your grave.
I'm rooting for the Canadian thing.
Because that's not
It's gonna be
I feel
Amor.
like, yeah, I
mean,
feel
Amor.
like if you're
It's gonna be
nominated for
Amor.
Best Picture,
film, yeah.
Didn't the artist win? They wasn't best
Artist
for his film.
wasn't
Oh,
for
right,
film.
right. We did discuss that. Okay. Anyway, moving on. Amor, whatever. Go ahead. Makeup and hairstyling. There's only 3 entries here: Hitchcock, The Hobbit, and Unexpected Journey.
I say give it to Hitchcock because since they rushed it to release before the Oscar season, and this is the only thing that they got nominated for, they should get something.
And
just
then
as a courtesy.
just as a courtesy. And then last one is Les Mis.
This is the first time we've heard The Hobbit on any of these lists.
Because it's the only thing that it should be nominated
I
for.
don't know because I could tell through The Hobbit they were wearing fake noses and shit. So I'd say give it to Hitchcock. Because
I haven't seen
couldn't
Hitchcock.
see-
Neither of us.
I've seen the other 2. Out of the other 2, I would say Les Mis more than The Hobbit.
Wait, is this like special effects makeup or is this
Just
just
makeup and hairstyle.
Oh, give it to,
CGI
give it to
doesn't
that.
count.
Give it to that.
What?
I said CGI doesn't count.
Yeah, your makeup in studio on Gandalf in front of a green screen looks great.
Give it to Les Mis.
Maybe
Yeah,
it would have
Les
won
Mis.
if you
That was a
actually
great
showed the
haircut they
dragon.
gave.
Yeah, I mean,
His
she
hair-
got her, she
his-
still has her hair cut that way too. That's
Or
how
it's
she keeps
short.
her cut now.
Yeah, but I was just saying, Hugh Jackman's jacked up, like, just a shaved head, and it's not even even. I was like, and his teeth and his eyes are bloodshot. I was like, just he looked like he had, like, the worst hangover.
That's just Hugh
Slash-
Jackman. I just feel like that's just Hugh Jackman.
Yeah.
That's just Hugh Jackman on a weekend.
Same as Robert Downey Jr.
Yeah. Robert Downey Jr., I think you could just turn on any footage of Tony Stark, and that's Robert Downey Jr.
That was Robert Downey Jr., like, 10 years ago.
Yeah, he snorted all the crack that was left in the 80s.
All right, we're getting a little bit far, so let's go back.
Anyway, the point is the only reason The Hobbit's on this list is because Gollum has that stringy hair. That's why they're on there.
Exactly. The only good scene in the movie. Anyway, music, original score. We have
Skyfall.
we have Anna Karina, Argo, Life of Pi, Lincoln, and Skyfall.
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 Yeah,
Wait,
no.
let's all do it. Let the
No.
come
wait,
on.
But that specific song isn't in this section. It's in the next section.
What? Oh well, but
Because
okay, but
in
the
Sky-
music itself, but the music in general, for original score, it's also nominated though.
Yes, but I'm saying that just for this, it's Thomas Newman's work, not Adele.
Okay, but
Yeah,
but we
still
we
want
consider
Skyfall to
yeah.
win.
Scroll real quick, what were the other ones?
The same ones: Lincoln,
okay,
Life of Pi, Argo, Anna
okay.
Karina.
I got you.
Whatever
Okay.
it is.
But
Yeah,
they,
Skyfall.
and they
Green
also put in like the original like Bond theme and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I'm like, good for you.
Yeah, exactly. So, and then I guess transition right into that music, original song "Before My Time" from Chasing Ice. Everybody Needs a Friend from Ted.
What?
Exactly. I don't know why Ted is nominated.
For anything.
Seth MacFarlane's
Is
hosting.
he gonna
Yeah.
sit there? Is it
Yeah.
Seth MacFarlane singing? Who's
Oh,
I don't
please
know. I don't
please
know
don't
who's
tell me
you know
he's singing.
he's going. You know he's
Oh
going.
wait!
It'll be him,
Music
Hugh
by
Jackman, Robert Downey Jr.
Walter
all
Murphy
singing.
and lyric by Seth MacFarlane.
Yeah.
So yeah. Okay, so next one.
Just have Adele stand on
right.
stage.
Pi's Lullaby from Life of Pi, and then Skyfall from Skyfall.
I can't wait, and I hope she sings it during the. You know,
Let
she's gonna
the
sing it during the
sky
tribute.
fall.
Can we just have Adele
And
run onto the
from
stage when Seth
home.
MacFarlane's about to sing
And
and
just
push him off?
Bitch slap him.
Yeah.
That's I don't think Adele would do that because I mean, did you see when she won the Grammy Award, like how just like talk about the person, you know, Anne Hathaway? Adele is just like that. Adele is that person who cries and she is the happiest thing.
She
this will be
knows
the
she's
greatest
going
thing.
to win. If she doesn't win, people are gonna be really pissed off.
I'll be mad.
Skyfall
Probably.
is the best Bond theme song ever.
Yeah, I'd probably say that. The only thing that was close second was the video game Everything or Nothing song. I like that. And that's like the rarest video.
Or nothing.
Well, they
give
have,
me everything or nothing.
I don't know. I
at
thought
all.
You Know My Name from Casino Royale was pretty good, but
During the thing.
I
the
can't
tribute,
find it,
one of the
unfortunately.
other singers who like Goldfinger and stuff's gonna sing too, and I guess that's during the Bond. That's the only thing I want to watch. The Oscars.
I'm a little disappointed though that they're not gonna have all the Bond actors up there. That would have been really,
I want to
really
see
cool.
Sean Connery while Skyfall's playing.
Try to get all those actors combined.
Yeah, try to
get up there though. I mean, that's
like good
that's
luck.
difficult.
Good luck finding George Lazenby.
He's around somewhere.
Yeah, I mean, but it would have been really, really cool, though. I mean, when was the last time you even heard from Sean Connery? I mean, he's just kind of been...
He's
retired.
He's living
yeah, I
in the
know.
Bahamas.
Yeah,
that's why they wrote off his character in Indiana Jones.
Yeah, but it would have been really cool, though, to have him, kind
well,
of...
you don't know. He might come and introduce the Bond.
I doubt
the
it.
Bond tribute.
I think Connery just wants to live the rest of his life, like happily.
He just walks in and says, "Shaken not stirred, peace out."
He would get a standing ovation.
Oh yeah, no, he would.
Cry.
He would, but I don't think it's probably just not in him to do that anymore. Probably.
I'm pretty sure Daniel Craig will not be the only Bond actor there, though.
Well, no, of course not. They're gonna have Pierce Brosnan.
No,
they're gonna have,
Pierce Brosnan.
Really?
Because everybody thought that they were getting all the Bonds together, and then there was a news report, and Pierce Brosnan, and somebody asked Pierce Brosnan, he's like, "I'm not gonna be there." So then people are like, "Oh, they're not having all the Bonds." So that's why we should hope that Sean Connery comes out.
Sean Connery.
Timothy Dalton, please show up.
Roger Moore.
No, he can stay out.
You know Roger Moore will show up.
For all the Roger Moore fangirls out there. Oh my God, it's Roger Moore.
All right. Well.
Moving on.
Yeah. Preemptively though. just had to pull that up.
Just end the podcast on that.
Are we done with the categories?
I mean, the rest are.
Just
I mean,
go through the
if there are any big other categories left, there you have production design,
sound mixing,
short film, sound editing, sound mixing. I am honestly hoping that Skyfall wins as many of the smaller awards
what
as
about
it can.
visual effects and writing?
Visual effects is The Hobbit, Life of Pi, Avengers, Prometheus, Snow White, and the Huntsman.
Prometheus.
No. That's how I feel about The Hobbit. All right. So quick thoughts. That was good. Writing. We have Argo, Beasts of Southern Wild, Life of Pi, Lincoln, Silver Linings Playbook.
Wait, for original screenplay?
Adapted.
Oh, adapted.
Sorry, my bad.
I guess for visual effects, give Life of Pi or Avengers.
Life of Pi or Avengers. Yeah, I agree. But for writing, I mean, Argo was pretty good. I can't say anything about the rest.
Wait, what was Argo adapted from?
It was adapted from a couple books that were based off of the real life incident. So.
And now, original screenplay, Amor, Django, which, I mean, in all fairness, probably will win. Flight, get that off of there. It was not well written at all. Moonrise Kingdom, Zero Dark 30. Congrats, Flight. You got nominated for just writing the story about how an alcoholic can't admit he's an alcoholic.
Well,
now AA can play this for their meetings and be like, you do not want to be this guy.
Now, Tarantino's never won an Oscar, right?
Has he never won an Oscar?
I can't imagine.
He's been nominated, but he hasn't won anything. And I think this year he'll win for screenwriting.
I
think he'll win for.
If he's gonna win anything, that's probably what he'll win.
I know he won Golden Globe for it, and he was surprised.
I mean,
he was surprised.
I mean, Lincoln's
really? I thought people hated that movie.
The most awards. So I mean, for writing, I mean,
who's gonna be the runaway of the show? Real quickly. What do you guys think?
Which movie?
Yeah, which movie is going to be the runaway?
Argo or Lincoln. But I actually have a really good feeling, though, that like you were saying that Skyfall could potentially take all the smaller categories.
I think it will.
And real quick, Tarantino did win Best Directing and Writing for Pulp Fiction.
Okay.
Best Writing for Pulp Fiction?
And Director.
He didn't win Director for Pulp Fiction.
Yes,
he doesn't have it.
He was nominated.
Oh, that is nominated.
So he didn't win.
Alright,
He's been nominated, so he hasn't won.
Way to go, Tyler.
Then he won for Best Writing.
Okay.
Does it say he won?
Yes.
Well then he has a good chance. So
for Pulp Fiction, I see him winning this year for Django.
He could. I'd say that's a fair prediction.
Probably the top contender.
Yeah. All right, well, that was our prediction show, everybody. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you want to, compare the podcast to when the Oscars come out, prove us wrong or right, and we'll all know by next week. So, like I said, tune in next week. Next Friday is going to be the reaction show where we'll talk about how incredibly off base we probably were. Not really.
And how
Just
horrible
kidding.
might be as a host.
I'm hoping the opposite's true.
It's just going to be, what's his name? Peter Griffin?
Nah, I think Seth
gonna be
MacFarlane
Stewie.
is funnier than that, and I think he'll
He was
be
in an
more
episode
creative
of Star
than
Trek. Boy.
Okay, well,
Okay,
We're done here.
Anyway.
We're done here.
Anyway, so yeah, next week is our reaction show. If you'd like to follow us on Facebook, search UMBC's Filmmakers Anonymous. On Twitter, it's UMBCFA, and on YouTube.com, just look up UMBCFA. That's where you'll find previous episodes of the Filmmakers Podcast. Tune in for next week. Thanks for joining, everybody. Have fun watching the Oscars.
I'm gonna watch Walking Dead.